got to turn it on.
That one, and I've been eaten by a shark twice.
First time it got my arms, second time it got my legs.
By a bear?
I've been attacked by a bear in San Francisco.
Did you get real elaborate with your story?
Oh, yeah, because I got tired of people asking me, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to start having fun with it and just tell them what I want.
wasn't bigger than the bear. He beat the shit out of
Yeah, I got eaten by a bear in San Francisco.
Head on or head on?
Hey, George, can you go get me a double vodka?
You wear your hat, might as well wear it.
It won't make you feel any better, but my boobs are fake.
That makes me feel a lot better.
I don't know what's going on here.
There's 13 surgeries.
Kind of makes me want to see them.
All 13 surgeries. Yeah, that won't happen.
Well, I know, but you threw it out there. I told you, I'm going to say whatever I want. I got diarrhea mouth. Whatever's on my mind comes out of my mouth.
Okay. If I can't fight back, I'll let Craig.
See, this is all good podcast material.
Thank you,
I don't know why we're
Nance.
talking.
Don't worry. We're getting it all.
Oh, we're getting it?
What?
All right.
I mean, he's going to ask you a question.
Well, we're not getting her. They didn't hear what I'm saying. Is he coming?
You mean him?
Hey, Tom, where the hell you think you're going? Shuffleboard's over.
Come on, Tom Terry. Come over here with me, buddy.
Give me that Korean stuff.
Come on.
Did you come home clean? Did you come home clean?
Did I come?
What about the
Yes,
other guy
yeah.
talking over there?
See you manana. Tomorrow night, show me the money.
The guy behind Tom, is he coming?
The gentleman with the hat on.
He said he was coming.
don't know.
Dollar,
Come on.
get your butt up
Let's go.
here.
You only got a half an hour. Let's
Holy
go.
crap.
Double time.
The hell? Usually we wait on women.
Mine, sir, if you'd like. And if you want, you can sit on my nub and I'll turn you into a puppet.
You and I can share a mic.
Yeah, so you guys are going to
You
share a
and I
mic
can
and these two will
Let's
share a mic.
Let's get you a chair.
Just don't lick
so
it.
You can sit.
You like it, you put it in your mouth because you had it in your mouth earlier.
There we go.
All right, so I'll do my introduction and then we'll go right into it.
Okay.
Not me.
We ready?
This is on,
Yeah, we're
right?
recording.
Okay.
This is on.
Yeah, it's on.
So what do we do now?
Okay.
I've never done one of these
You just
before.
wait a second and I'm going to run through something and then we'll start asking questions. We're ready to go. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of When Does the Fuckery End with Todd Nicely. I got a special episode today. I'm at the VFW and I got some veterans because the other day was just Veterans Day. And so I like to run down and ask these veterans a couple questions. So I got a panel of veterans here. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. But you know how this goes. You know what we do at the beginning of the episode. We always have a screwball shot, so let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey.
Thank.
Hey.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. So we only got a couple mics, but we're at the VFW, so you might hear some music in the background, but that'll be all right.
Ooh, Lord almighty. Damn.
Would you like some?
Shit. Shit, he said. But
That was
peanut butter's
delicious.
good, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. There ain't no
yummy.
peanut. There ain't no Skippy
Got my
peanut butter,
protein.
I'll tell you right now.
Protein it is. Are you going to take yours, or what are you drinking down there, sir? He needs the
I took a
microphone.
drink.
Well, when you talk, you got to have the microphone.
Oh, well, I thought you were... Hello.
There you go, sir.
We got to share. What would you like to know?
Well, what I'd like to know is what you got and what's your name and when did you serve?
My name's Michael Luma. I joined.
You got to talk into it.
Hi, my name's Mike Luma. I joined the service in August of 1964, right out of high school. Out of basic training, I went to infantry school, Fort Polk, Louisiana, and then jump school at Fort Benning, Georgia. And then when I got to Fort Campbell as a paratroop infantry guy, they snagged my ass off and sent me to San Antonio, Texas, and made a medic out of me.
I love a medic. Medic saved my ass.
Yeah, well, I was kind of ashamed that I was, but anyway, what do you want to know?
Well, you just told me some of it. So let's
well,
go.
no. I was over there 2.5 weeks, and we got 101st Airborne Division, second. I was 3-2 Command at the time. It was all the medics came from a medical battalion. It doesn't work that way anymore. But they went from Van Rang, which was the base camp, to Tuiwa, and that's where the shit happened.
Right.
You know, and it's sort of like a MASH unit and all that crap. And they grabbed me and stuck me with a second 5.0 deuce, and I was in a jungle ever since. And I never figured out why, because I looked like a 12-year-old boy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I did. And then my top sarge here at the club I belong here to.
Did the Vietnamese.
He said, Michael, he said you had an infantry MOS. He said you had an infantry MOS before you became a medic. That's why they sent you with an infantry outfit. And I played games around here a little while, you know, and never caught anything.
Like gonorrhea?
I never got tagged. And it was come time to de-roast, and they didn't de-roast me. Back then they called it critical MOS. Now they call it stop loss or something like that.
Yeah.
And they offered me $9,000 and a stripe to extend the rest of it out. So I signed up for that, and first thing I did was catch malaria.
I thought you said you didn't catch anything.
Well, I caught malaria.
Malaria.
Normal thing, you know.
So I came back home, and then 9 months left to go in the service, but I stomped through the woods with B Company 2nd 502s for quite a while. It seemed like quite a while. And
Well, if you don't mind, sir, we'll get back to that because I want to ask these other guys what they
All right,
did as
very
well.
good.
If you don't
Thank you
mind.
very much.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
seen you struggling there.
Yep.
So your name and what you did?
I'm Greg King.
Yeah?
I served from 71 to 77 in Air Force. Served in Da Nang. And then they sent me the 366 Fighter Wing at Air Force. From there, they sent me to Takli, Thailand. And it was doing really well all the way up to 5 days from going home. And there was an explosion, and I got my kneecap popped. And
I got my kneecaps popped too.
yeah, I know, I seen that. Yeah, but you got a lot of metal there.
Mine are replaceable.
That's not funny. That's not funny. But
It's pretty funny.
That's very funny.
That's pretty good.
anyway, the wife, you know, I told her, you know, they weren't going to. No, they're going to send me to the Philippines for 90 days, and I said, no way in hell. My wife's middle brother died in Vietnam, stepped on a landmine 3 weeks in the country, and they sent him a telegram on Father's Day. And I went, nope, you're not sending my wife a telegram. I'll just suck it out and get me to my next base. So when I got back, sat in the airport for forever and a day, and the pilot and all the stewardesses ladies come down, and I'm sitting in the damn chair, and he said, Sarge, what are you doing? I said, I'm waiting for a goddamn family. I guess they never showed up and didn't thought about me. And I went, how long you been gone? I said, well, I don't know. I'm 13, 14 months. And he goes, they can't come down here anymore. Okay. So we went upstairs, and there they all were.
Oh.
So that was good.
So you sat there waiting for them
all.
all,
Waiting
huh?
for them all, yeah. So anyway, seen the bride. She had it all car decorated with all that yellow ribbons and shit like that. So we got out of there, out of the airport, and we're going down, get out of the airport, which you're normally supposed to make a right. She made a left. And all these cars are honking their horns and blasting their lights and shit like that. And there she's waving everybody and stuff. I said, Nance, I don't think you're doing the right thing here. I think you're going the wrong way on a goddamn interstate. Made it through 14 months, and the bitch is going to kill me here in less than 15 minutes.
All right. That's a good one. We're going to get to all your stories,
Yeah.
but I want to introduce everybody so
Yes.
that way
You go
everybody
right ahead.
knows who we're talking to when we start getting into these conversations. Next, believe it or not, is a woman veteran. And guys, there are them. You got to believe it because I'm sitting here right next to one.
She is the commander
Yeah.
of the post.
She is the commander
Yeah.
of the VFW post right now.
2593.
And she told me she had fake boobs.
I was trying to,
Make me feel better about my
one
fake-
up
fake
you by any
prosthetics.
means.
I got prosthetic boobs. Yeah, I'm supposed to be happy about that.
I two
I
upped
kind of
you.
was. I was happy about your prosthetic boobs.
Well, I generally am too. Every morning when I wake up and they're still there.
My wife wants some. I tell her no because I'm not paying for them for another man to play with them.
Oh man.
All right, so run us down on you and what you did, where you served, who you.
Okay, my name is Arla. I'm a retired U.S. Army Master Sergeant. I went in and, I raised my right hand in 1981. As soon as I turned 17, 2 weeks after I turned 17. And then I retired October 31st of 2004.
That's a
So-
long time.
Yeah.
I was going to do that, but unfortunate events.
Right. Those happen a lot more often now than we would like to see them occur by any means.
Right.
My qualifications come from serving in Korea. I was trying to pull our other buddy here, Tom Terry.
Yeah.
Him and I reminisce about South Korea all the time because we were both sitting up there with the 2nd Infantry Division, and you just really never know what spot you were going to get into there.
Right. I do this program with Focus, me and my buddy, and we have a Korean Marine that comes in, and he was part of the Chosen Frozen.
Oh, my God.
And he tells us this story about Tootsie Rolls and how they actually saved his life because, well, I'll get into that later, but the Tootsie Roll, they asked for Tootsie Rolls, which was a code for drop us more ammo, and somehow the Army thought that it meant drop actual Tootsie Rolls. So they dropped a whole bin of Tootsie Rolls, and that's what they ate on while they were there because they couldn't get food.
Wow. Blessings in disguise.
Right.
All the time.
Right.
Yeah. Stationed, Korea most of the time, hopped around here and there. The rest of the time, mostly stateside.
Okay.
So, like I say, retired in 2004. Was going to stay, getting ready to PCS, and it was my son's high school year, and I'm like,
nope, I'm out.
you don't want us
Peace.
to go, we don't go.
Right.
So
Well,
he had moved all over.
Let's move on to this gentleman. We got another Army cat, 82nd Airborne. I'm being surrounded by Army. That's unusual. It is.
Well, the Air Force is here to stand in the
See,
middle.
you're not talking into the microphone. No one can hear you.
1 second. I should have worn my shirt because I do it for my Marines here, when I know they're going to be here. And it says Army because even Marines need heroes.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know what we say in the Marine Corps? Army aren't ready to be Marines yet.
Oh, they tell me that all the time.
The Air Force says if you just scored a couple of more points, you could have been in the Air
I
Force.
thought Marines stood for.
You gotta talk to the microphone.
We ride our Navy equipment.
We yeah.
The men's
You know what?
department of the
The
Navy.
men's department of the Navy, okay? You know what we call Navy sailors and Air Force women? M&Ms, Marine mattresses, because we lay on you. You can say
We
whatever you
always
want.
told Marines we
Give
landed
him the
on
mic.
them.
Hey, give him the microphone.
We're airborne. We told the Marines we landed on them.
And you know what? We liked it.
That's why they put them back on ships.
Do they still issue Marines?
We liked it. We were waiting for you to get there.
Do they still issue
First
Marines
in,
color
last to leave.
crayons when they go in the service?
I like the grape ones.
Yeah, because it's free, you put you out with a pencil. Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, I mean, I licked windows for a living.
No, what was that thing I was going to say? My ass rides on Navy equipment. Marines.
Well, yeah, we have to. We have no choice.
Oh.
All right, sir, your turn.
My name is Bob Beller, and I went into the service through ROTC, so I went in as a second lieutenant at Fort Benning,
One of them
Georgia.
guys.
We have an officer.
And at ease.
At ease, I ain't saluting you on deck. Fuck that shit.
And so, I went through airborne school down at Fort Benning, right out of Officer Basic. Was stationed with the 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg for 6 months before they sent me to jungle school in Panama and then to Vietnam. In Vietnam, I was a platoon leader with the 4th Infantry for about 5 months in the Central Highlands. And then they pulled me out of the field and made me a Battalion S1 for a month to clear the battalion home, sent them home. And then I spent the rest of my career, the last 6 months in Vietnam, with the 2nd and the 1st Americal Division, and we followed in wherever the Marines pulled out of. We moved in. So when they pulled out of the DMZ, we went to the DMZ.
You know, I gotta stop you on that one. Wherever the Marines pulled out of, we took over.
That's right.
That's right.
You guys kept
We
leaving.
gotta go in, and then you guys just keep it safe. Apparently, after we take over.
Well, no, actually, you guys were going home.
Obviously, y'all wouldn't have been there unless the Air Force got your asses there.
Listen to this. See the banter that's gonna go on here.
Here's the deal.
You
When
ladies
you're
and
done
gentlemen.
getting your ass kicked, call the Air Force.
You
The service ends.
You know, the
can
Navy,
talk over 'em.
the Navy and
does.
the
It
Air
stops
Force,
right there.
everybody becomes infantry once they hit the ground,
But
right?
you know, everybody's infantry in the Marine Corps,
Contour.
Well, that's a given.
right?
Very little
got
MOS
tired of
change
your
in
ass
the
kicked.
Half
Come
your
on.
airborne guys hit the ground without with a thud, didn't you?
It depends on
Tons.
how the shoot did.
All right, so we've got to know everybody a little bit. You're going to hear some banter going on because that's what veterans do. And for people that are listening, you'll understand as this show goes on just exactly how veterans get along with each other. Most civilians will never understand anything that we've been through, ever.
No.
Whether it be
no,
just
no.
basic or, going to war, or just even serving in the military, whether you're in war or not. No one understands the culture or the ideas of what we've done. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do for people for Veterans Day, is to give them an understanding of how vets are, what we do, how we think, and how we speak. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Well, you're talking about the veterans. Everybody's a veteran that served. You put that uniform on, you raise your hand, you're a veteran. I got a best buddy of mine. His name is Terry Kraft, and he's an Army, but he served in Germany. Mm-hmm. They say he's not eligible to join the VFW because he was in the Cold War,
right?
Which I think is bullshit, because you slap that uniform on, you're a veteran, no matter what.
I completely agree, because when I was in 03, which is infantry. Yeah. Back then, I thought, you're a pogue, you're just a guy who fixed the planes. But without the guy fixing the planes, I wouldn't be able to do what I was able to do. So everybody that raises the right hand has a chance of dying, or a chance of missing their Christmases or loved ones. Everyone that raises the right hand is a veteran to me. It took me a long time to figure that out because I was so disgruntled. But everyone is a veteran, whether you served in war or got shot at or not.
Excuse me.
No, go ahead.
One perspective that I run into that I didn't understand with my dad. My dad came back from World War II. He served, though. He didn't serve in Europe. He served in India. He was the admin tech that sent everything up the Burma Trail into Southeast Asia. He joined the VFW when he came back. He was an officer for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden he quit the VFW and just faded away. And I asked him about that one time. He just says, well, I kind of disagreed with some things or whatever. I understand now why. He wasn't a combat veteran. And almost everybody he bumped into in the VFW are combat veterans. And I think that's the reason that people would come up to him and say, where'd you serve? Well, I was in India. What did you do in it? And you can see, I see that today. I see people in here that were cooks, and people come up and say, what did you do? You're a cook. Oh, okay.
Well,
my favorite
if you served, you served.
Need a microphone
Yep.
if you're going to say something, ma'am.
Yep. If you are overseas, by George, you deserve credit.
Let us clarify that
Not
cooks
even overseas.
are
If you
some of the
raised
best
your right
people.
hand and signed, you are a goddamn veteran of this
Absolutely.
United States of America, and you are protecting everyone.
You
now,
are-
We
Then
say
you
Coast
join the
Guard,
ambets.
Yeah, but, well, look, every branch, and I know y'all have heard this before, but every branch has their own enlisted and officer balls and stuff like that. And I ran into this thing, I think, on TikTok, and they said now we've got space balls too. So
fucking Space Force.
I'm sorry to
What do you think of
everybody out
Space
there. I'm
Force?
sorry, I'm not making fun of you, but it just cracked me
I
up. It was a
am.
military thing.
I am making fun of Space Force because they're not even in space.
Well, you do have a valid point there.
I gotta say something here.
Go ahead.
I finally
You gotta suck on that thing.
Oh, I got to push this thing.
Like a lollipop.
Treat it
I
like
finally got a service in
Well, never mind.
August '67. My mother was the chaplain of the auxiliary of the VFW on Page Avenue in Overland. All right, she was because my stepfather was in the service. Now, I came back from Vietnam. They would not accept me as a member
'Cause it was
of
a
the
conflict,
VFW
not a war.
In August of 1967, I could not join the VFW.
Right.
Because I was never in a friggin' war.
Right, they call it a conflict now, and a lot of people don't know that. It's
pass it.
still a conflict. It is
And
not
that's-
considered
Yes,
a
it is.
war.
And that should be something that is
That should be
handled in
changed
D.C.
in Congress, because we're not going to politics.
No, we're not. But that
But-
is the only way that can change
Right.
is if you petition your senators to ask them to go forward and make that change to be all-inclusive.
Listen, I understand this man's hostility towards it because
Oh, I do
a
too.
lot of these men went to do something that we made them do. When we
Right.
signed up, my generation, it was voluntary.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
Well, I bet you
I
did,
did
but
too.
some men
We got
did.
2 volunteers.
2 volunteers to go to Vietnam, but a lot of men didn't. And to not call it a war is just disgraceful.
Yeah.
You know how many Americans we lost during that time? I don't know the exact number, but it's up there.
it was a lot.
54,386, I
And there's
believe
a
the
total,
number is.
That's
total
coming
now
from
of
a
over
Vietnam
58,000.
veteran.
Yeah,
Yeah.
58,000
You know how many
on
men
the
we
wall.
lost in Iraq and Afghanistan? Nowhere near that. You know
Nothing.
where the numbers are soaring? Is suicide.
Right.
Yeah, the after part.
You guys carried all that goddamn equipment you carried.
He needs a microphone, man. He's killing me down
How the
there.
hell did you carry
You
all
need
that
to
freaking
catch it,
equipment? All them helmets with lights on it.
Trust me, I wish I didn't have to.
It was 117 degrees. You know, I'm going, what the fuck was that?
Hey, man, everybody's got their own war, and ours was a little different. We had to mule pack everything we owned.
We could hide in the jungle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
there's
hide in
nowhere
the
to hide in
jungle.
the
Nowhere to hide
desert.
in the sand.
You just
You walk for 17, 18 days in a row?
In a
Like-
row, I lived in an abandoned house for 7 months.
Really?
Yeah, there was no
They
going
lost
back.
you, huh?
It took me. I didn't have a shower for over a year and a half.
Oh, you
no, because I was.
buku bullshit, GI.
I'm not buku bullshit. I'm not buku bullshit. Alabama black snake, motherfucker.
well, I
No, because no. Listen, for 5 months I was in Afghanistan to 7 months. I didn't have a shower, and then I got injured and I couldn't take a shower because of my injuries.
Or what?
No, my
Nobody loved
injuries.
you
I
no
couldn't
more?
put water on my open wounds. I was still healing, so it was a
Why
year and a
didn't
half.
they come and get your ass out of here and fly you 17 miles back and give you a bath?
They did with wet wipes.
Well, come on.
You want to wipe my
Well,
ass, sir?
I heard all those Marine stories before. You know,
This is true.
so I
Ask
believe
my
that Marine
guys.
shit.
Ask them. Ask them. I
Yeah,
didn't have a
it's
shower for a
actually
year and a
true.
half.
All right, I believe
Well,
it.
Yeah.
all I can tell you is y'all couldn't see this shit in the jungle, so we decided to make this magic cocktail and put it on the airplanes and spray it. And the government still denies that to this day.
Oh, the Agent
It's
Orange.
Agent Orange. I was there. I loaded the barrels. I loaded it in the helicopters. I loaded it in the KC-135, and we put it on the planes, and they sprayed it.
Yeah.
24 hours, these massive jungles. 24 hours later, it was like wintertime. You couldn't see a leaf on there. But the snipers that were sitting in the trees, they're dead.
Yep.
So-
well, that's the thing. You guys have Agent Orange, and our disease that's coming around is burn pit lung.
Burn
Because we
pits.
sat
yeah.
so
pits.
close to the lithium
Yep.
batteries burning and
And
all the
everything.
trash, any
Yeah.
metal, all that shit just
Anything
on
and
fire and
everything.
smoldering toxins into the air. And so a lot of us are coming back with burn pit lung holes in
Burning
our lungs.
equipment,
Didn't they
even,
just
you know?
finally pass legislation this year?
For the PAC Act.
The PAC Act.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Finally-
completely unsure.
Yeah, it did. It passed.
Okay, because I also have a caregiver, and they were trying to take away my caregiver pay too.
Yeah. yeah.
That got passed, that got overlooked, and now there's no more word about it. They were trying, we made a fuss, and then it went away.
You got to stand together on this stuff because there's too many people out there that don't care.
Well, that's the problem. This generation growing up, I'd hate to say it, is a bunch of people that don't appreciate what they actually have because they're jaded by American society.
That's
They
right.
feel entitled.
And
I
I call them
haven't,
snowflakes.
I'll give a shout out to my DAV people because they helped me quite a bit, and but I'm telling you, George, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, George, shut the fuck up.
George.
George. Anyway,
Pay attention, George.
Oh, that's fine. I love it.
but I do have to give
I
a
love
shout out to my wife though, because the only reason I didn't re-enlist is because she was going to divorce me if I
Well,
re-enlisted. So
She's awesome.
Well, you
Yeah.
know what? It
Yeah,
probably
whatever.
saved your life. You never know.
yeah, well, I don't know. 51 years later, I guess I still keep her around. Whatever.
Well, we lost Mike down there on the end. Him and George were having a
Nancy.
side conversation.
That's it, Nance.
So now you all got your own microphones, so we can sit here and do
Oh,
this,
yeah,
and you can
no.
all say whatever you want. Don't quit looking at your watch. You got time.
I've got time.
Yeah, Bob's got time. You know what they call me when I'm floating around in the water? Bob. I don't swim.
Hey, he's the only officer
All right,
at the
so
table.
the main question I really wanted to get to tonight, after we run down all this stuff, is what does it mean to be a veteran to you? Because Veterans Day just happened, and that's what we're running down. So what does it mean to you to be a veteran? Why did you sign up?
I'd have to turn this over to the commander. She's the head cheese. Come on,
I'm asking all three of you.
she's up first.
Y'all three have your own microphones right now.
Okay. Honestly, when I first joined, I mean, I can remember I'm the youngest of 10, and 5 of us in my family served. My father served in World War II. My 2 sisters at the end of Vietnam, and 2 of my brothers in the late 70s. So, and then
So
me in the
military
90s.
family.
So, definite military family. And growing up listening to the stories, I think it was just ingrained into me that this is what honor is. This is what integrity is. This is where you learn what pride is about. I've had the privilege of meeting so many people around the world. Just that alone, aside from serving in the uniform, having the ability to visit other cultures, whether we like them or not, and so many opportunities are out there for us, but we also sign a document up to our life that we will give it in defense of this country.
And that's another thing that I want to speak on is you said cultures around here. And
Cultures around the world,
Cultures
yeah.
around the world. A lot of people are stuck in their own little bubble, and they don't realize what is actually going on around the world. They think that it should be their own way or the highway.
Yeah.
So once you join the military, you also become open-minded to facts and ideas that other people just don't understand because
Right.
you've met these cultures. You've become open-minded to the other idea. You're serving with Mexicans and the African Americans and the Chinese and anybody that's American and culture. If you're not growing up around that and don't understand that, you don't understand it, and you come up with these ideas and you're closed off. So I'd have to say that serving in the military myself, along with you guys, I would believe, has given you a different taste and love for this country.
Entirely.
I think that one thing it hit me, especially with what was going on in the 60s in this country back here. You had the racial tensions, you had cities burning, you had riots, you had people being assassinated. When you're in a field, it doesn't matter what color you are.
No.
You got the uniform on.
Can
that
you
person
shoot
next
straight?
to you
That is your family.
is your blood and soul, and it don't matter. And so you bring that back with you. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of us that served in that situation, we rely on each other. And the color has nothing. It's your uniform.
Right.
Your uniform is what we.
Well, I
rely
wouldn't even say uniform because I rely on a veteran. I would say it's
A man in the
a service,
uniform.
anyone who signed the dotted line, and can you shoot straight?
Right.
That's all that
Well,
matters.
and I think
if you can drop that bomb, great. That's good too. If you can fly high in the air and drop that bomb right. But anyway, yes. As far as veteran, my whole family is proud Navy. The entire family, from great grandpa all the way down to my
You didn't have
grandfather.
one guy that wanted to be a man?
And my dad, my brothers, everybody. We're all Navy. When I
God bless
come
you,
home
sir.
and told my old man I joined the Air Force, he didn't talk to me for 2 weeks before I left.
Yeah.
But he finally decided, okay, this is a good thing for him to do. Became a jet engine mechanic, and it was a thing to do. Joined it, loved it, and I would never give it up for the world. If she would have just let me re-enlisted.
We're going back to that. All right, Bob, what does being a veteran mean to you?
Well, when I look back at it,
Except for the fact that you're an officer. Boo.
that's
whatever. I
okay. We'll let
survived.
him stay.
Yeah, you survived. I don't know how, because in Vietnam, people well, let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is, if you take care, you have two missions in the military as an officer. Number one, complete whatever a mission assigned. Number two, take care of your men. If
That's
you're
a
not
big
trying
one.
to, if you're not trying to win the war, when I got over there in 1970, we were not trying to win the war. After I get somebody hurt in the first encounter, my philosophy changed. It's not to get the mission done; it's to take care of my men. And if the mission is important to the overall situation we're in, then I'll do that.
Yeah.
So, I did things there that could have got me in Fort Leavenworth because I didn't do what the Army wanted me to do.
Well, sir, I commend you for that, because when I got to Afghanistan as a squad leader, my mission wasn't their mission. My mission was to bring everyone home.
Yeah.
So what they asked me to do, sometimes I'd tell them to fuck off. They didn't like it too much. And you can ask my guys.
Yeah.
My first mission was to take care of them and make sure to take care of the guy on the right and the left. And God bless it, I brought every one of them home. I was the only one that got injured, minus a guy that got hit in a truck when I told him not to get in it and kind of injured his knee, but he didn't lose any limbs. So
Right.
I commend you for that, because sometimes your agenda isn't what the military's is when you get there.
Not if you're trying to win the war.
Right,
When you see people
right.
going home and We already had the 82nd had already gone home. The fourth I was with was going home in about a month after I had started there. Yeah, we're not trying to win the war. And so you spend a lot of time thinking about when you got somebody hurt, what am I supposed to be doing? And bottom line is, now I'm taking care of the men.
Right. And a lot of us were probably in leadership roles, I can probably expect.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes a toll on your brain, your body, your mind, your soul,
Right.
everything that you live for. I think Mike wants to say something. It's already on, Mike.
Oh, hi. Little story.
Is it going to be a little story?
I'm not in base camp. It's called Battalion Forward. I guess you guys know what that is. But
Got to get
there's
Mike
a chaplain,
closer.
Chaplain,
Got to get closer, Mike.
chaplain tent in there,
Mike, pay attention.
and I was the medic. And I used to go over to chaplain's tent 2-3 times a week to go to confession. And I'd drink his booze and he'd smoke my dope.
That was Vietnam for you, though.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
That's right.
Hey, sir, I need to confess, and I need a little bit more of that Jesus blood.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I applaud all the young men that are now serving like yourself, come home looking like you do, and I appreciate everything you guys did. This old fart's over here, I'm telling you. We accommodate, I tell you, we applaud you guys, and it's just like when I came back home, I got spit on, I got yelled at, but now oh yeah, California,
And
hell
that's
yeah.
something that I like to say.
I would like, I'm sorry.
Is that if it wasn't for the Vietnam guys doing what they've done, I would not have it as good as I do.
I was
And I
going to say.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Technology.
Huh?
It's better technology.
No, I'm talking about the appreciation. I'm talking about
Yeah.
the
The
I'm
coming
talking about the
home
appreciation
part.
of coming
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Because society feels like they've done you guys so dirty that now we're appreciated. And if it wasn't for
Right.
Well, they're
what you
trying to
guys had
make up
go
for
through,
it.
Right. That's I love it. I love it that you guys served and you guys are coming home and step up, join the VFW.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it. You
Amen.
heard it from Gary.
That is the truth. And we need.
You don't want to hear from him. He's Air Force like Gary.
We need more of those.
Greg, I'm sorry. I keep calling him Gary. Why am I calling him Gary?
Iraqi,
know. Everybody calls him
Kyle, you're
Afghanistan
fired.
vets.
You're supposed to have me notes.
Come on, Kyle.
Kyle gets
Pay
fired.
attention.
Kyle gets fired every episode.
Every episode you're
Every
fired.
episode,
Can
Kyle's
I
fired.
fire him?
I haven't fired him yet, so I had to find a reason.
Kyle, you're fired.
Yes. Now you're double fired.
Now we're doing a reality show.
That's pretty much what this is. It's just a talk show that's reality without the camera. But, okay, so we've all served. We all understand what it... Sorry, Kyle's yelling at me. He just got fired, and I'm getting yelled at by the Air Force.
That's
Anyway.
a good damn thing.
I'm going to keep calling you Gary now.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, Sally.
I
Gary.
let that one slide.
Okay, Sally.
You can call me Sally, Gary. But anyway, Bob and Arla. I couldn't spit it out. I was going to say Arlo.
Orlo.
You
No,
know,
Arla.
look, I've even had text messages that come out and say "Dear Atlanta," and I'm like, okay.
All right. That sounds great. But you got to understand the camaraderie that the four of us have on this stage. You wouldn't understand it because you never served, and that's what I was talking about
Right.
at the beginning. Veterans, whether you're a veteran that was in combat or a veteran that served completely, we have this camaraderie and this respect for each other that a lot of people will never get. So, like, if we were in a bar and I had a Air Force guy next to me, I can bust his chops. I'm going to do that. He's
Right.
expecting that.
Yeah.
He's going to bust mine. But if a civilian walks up and says something, you better believe that me and the Air Force guy
Are
are
tight.
gonna, all of a sudden we're best friends.
You're a wall.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I
helps.
agree with that 100%. I can
You gotta go.
walk
Bob's
into.
gotta leave, so
Bye,
we're gonna
Bob.
lose Bob.
Thank you for being.
Hey, thank you
okay.
for doing this
See
for
you
us.
soon, my dear.
Now you can give Mike a microphone.
Oh yeah, now he can have a mic.
No,
Here.
he's leaving too, I think.
Well, I think Mike's
Hey.
taking off too, unless he wants to stay and talk with us.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Well, airborne all the way.
Airborne.
That's all I can say.
Like a
We're airborne
virus?
or go home.
Like a virus?
Well, you know, it's the Junior League of Special Forces. It's all volunteer, and we had the best record of KIAs in Vietnam.
So it's like fucking with a condom on. It's just not fun.
It's something to brag about, isn't it? It's something to brag about.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, God bless you guys.
No, God bless you,
You
sir.
too, dude.
All right.
Hey, he's taking off too. Those are the airborne guys. I think they got something to do, or Mike's just gonna hang around. We don't know what Mike's doing.
Well,
Go ahead, Greg.
I just want to say, like we taught it earlier, you put that uniform on, you raise your right hand. I don't care if you're Cold War or whatever.
Right.
Like I said, my buddy Terry Kraft, I love that man. He's my best friend, and that man needs to be a full-time post member. And like everybody that put that uniform on needs to be in the VFW, auxiliary or not. They need to join forces and hook them up.
Well, yeah, we're basically segregating ourselves right now.
Here's my thing. I don't want one veteran. As a commander of this facility, I do not want one veteran or one family member of a veteran to walk through this door
And not feel welcome?
and not feel welcome, not feel important, or to leave like they feel we're going to let them down.
Well, what
because
about-
then I'm not doing my job taking care of the troops.
What about Gold Star families? Are they not veterans of foreign war? They lost somebody.
Absolutely.
Shouldn't they be allowed?
And they should all.
say goodnight.
I mean, they should be
Yes,
here.
sir.
They,
Good night, Mike.
Mike,
Say it into the microphone.
Take care, my dear.
Hey,
Am I going to hear myself on a podcast?
if you want to listen to it,
I need some information.
With all that
Who's gonna get it for
fuckery.
me? Yeah. All right.
yeah, you're going to hear yourself on a podcast. You listen
Thank
to
you,
yourself talk.
fellas.
I hope you don't wake up in the morning and go, what the fuck did I say?
You got to watch out for this.
We need another Screwball.
Right.
He's hiding something somewhere.
Yeah, it's in my ass, Mike.
God
that-
bless, man.
It's that damn spinning hand.
All right.
Yeah, you could totally
sound like
mess with somebody with that
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
if they're not paying attention.
Well, now we're down to two.
Let me see if I can get up.
I believe what we were hitting on was even Gold Star families and stuff. Like,
Yes.
Why aren't they allowed in the veterans of foreign wars? Because they lost a
Their
loved one. If their loved one's not allowed to be here because they can't be here, but yet we can bring
Well,
family members in.
here's the thing: if they are the family member of, we have an auxiliary. So you have your VFW member, and then you have your VFW auxiliary that is comprised of family members, other relatives.
Right. As long as you have a blood relative that served in a conflict,
or
you
other,
can join the auxiliary.
or they don't even have to have served in a conflict if they're joining the auxiliary. They just have to have a DD 214 that's an honorable discharge.
Here is my opinion on this. We have the VFW. We have, what's the,
The
other
Legion,
one?
American
the
Legion.
American Legion.
Uh-huh.
We have the Marine Corps League. We have all these
Yeah.
entities. Why don't we just have one that says veterans?
Yeah.
Why isn't there one yet?
All encompassing.
Yeah, everyone. Whether
Yeah.
you served in a foreign... What makes me a better veteran because I served in a foreign war, because I happened to be in a time of war? That doesn't make me lucky. It
Right.
doesn't make me any better than any other veteran.
Absolutely not.
They signed
No.
up to go to war. They signed up to protect our country in case war happened.
with the same mission that we had. And here's the thing. It's not because we despise or hate what's in front of us that we're heading into. It's because we love what's behind us. And if all Americans really knew how much every troop that is in that uniform loves this country, you know, I don't know. I would just like to see it make a difference.
I would like to see what you're saying right there is the veterans organization,
As a
because I
whole.
hope to God there is never a need for veterans of foreign wars again.
Well, you know what?
Because
We could
don't
call it
need-
the VO, and that's a liquor, and all veterans love liquor.
I
We'll get
don't
'em
want to
into the
see
door.
any kids go over and fight like you did and like Arla did
Yeah.
and myself and anybody else, because some people come home, some don't.
Well,
Yep.
and some come home in pieces.
Yeah.
I'm a testament to that. Well, we haven't heard from Kyle all episode.
Kyle.
Because we've been sharing microphones. And I'm wondering what kind of questions Kyle might have for these last two veterans we got
Get
sitting
up,
up here.
show up.
I would hate to say it. I have been just not paying attention a lot to this. I've been.
Well, see, Kyle's in here,
I
but he's
think
not a
it's my
veteran
long
of a
blonde
foreign war.
hair.
He was
Yep.
actually an Air Force veteran, not during time of service. He never made it in the country. But what'd you do, Kyle? I wish I would have said this during the airborne guys were here.
Oh, God.
Wait.
So
He packed parachutes.
Part of
Oh
my
my
job was
gosh,
packing
who is
parachutes,
that?
and I got taught by Army riggers, actually. So that was awesome. But my AFC was aircrew flight equipment. It's new. It's between, I can't remember the old jobs. It was like survival and rigger, I think it was.
Okay.
So basically, I worked on the pilots' helmets and their parachutes, their emergency equipment, and then their night vision goggles and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's all important equipment.
But see, that's the shit that us infantrymen need
Yeah.
in order to do a war. So that's
Well,
what
hell yeah.
we're all talking about.
I mean, who
exactly.
some guy's going to jump out of that damn airplane. You know damn good and well he ain't going to pack his own chute. He doesn't know anything about packing that chute.
Nope.
Oh,
All
we
he
could-
knows is how to jump
How
out
to
of
jump out of it and
land
hopefully
safely.
land.
We could sit here and talk about helmets and about all the variations of the helmets and the Kevlars and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, like Mike said, the gear that we had to carry compared to
Unreal.
what they had to carry. Yeah. Like, one
Right.
of the reasons I joined the military was because I seen a movie called Saving Private Ryan.
Yes,
Yeah.
great.
And
flick.
that movie, at 16 years old, had jarred me to a point to where I felt that I needed to do something for this country because all those men landing on that beach and giving their lives up, knowing that that was about to happen for a country that they believed in, I felt like I needed to do the same thing. Whether what kind of war I was in or not, I had to do it.
I got, it just, you said Saving Private Ryan. So now
Not
I'm going to
Shaving Private
show
Ryan.
Saving.
We're not talking about the porno Shaving Private
Yeah,
Ryan.
okay, not that one yet.
How would you know about that
but
one, Todd?
Black
going
Cock Down.
back, we're talking about going back to like my era, a little before his, and when I joined, I'm pretty sure that was when Private Benjamin came out. So every time I got a letter from my father, he would say, "Dear Private Benjamin."
Is that the song?
Huh?
Is that a song?
No, it's
Dear
a
Private-
movie.
I've never
Oh,
seen
it's
it.
older than you. Sorry, honey.
Yeah, I'm way
You're young.
I'm 38.
Well, you're not much. Well, you're only a couple years older than my kids.
Oh, breast milk, mommy.
If you're all
Can't help
talking
you there
about
either,
movies,
babe.
Yeah, I know they're fake.
you're all talking about movies. You ever want to see the most realistic thing?
Oh God, we're gonna get something in black
There
and
you
white
go.
and still frame
Yes.
from Greg. Gary.
We Were Soldiers. We Were Soldiers by Mel Gibson.
yeah.
I've seen that.
That's a great one. I love
Yeah,
that
that
one.
is
My
a good
God,
one.
That's
that is
not an
most-
old one. I thought you were gonna
No.
come out with something like black and white, like
No.
Charlie Chaplin movie or something.
I'm not that damn old.
Well, your hair
You little
says
bitch.
otherwise.
Well, shut up. So is yours.
This is coming from the Air Force.
Well, yes. This
I'm not
comes from
even
the Marines.
gray. See,
Like
this
I
is the
said,
banter I talk about.
Yeah,
we love
this-
each other, but we're
this-
just dicks
This
to
is
each
what I'm
other.
trying to tell you.
My
You scored a
toner
couple
must
more
be
points, you wouldn't
holding.
be looking like you're doing right now.
You want to bet? I scored an 84 on my ASVAB. I could have done whatever I wanted, and I said,
yeah.
you know what? I want to be infantry. And they said, you're the dumbest smart person I've ever met.
Oh man,
That proves a point.
Yeah, they were probably still shaking their head when you left the recruiting
Well, because I
station.
licked
Going,
the window on the way out. They go, okay.
He's a Marine.
Yep, he fits in just fine.
Okay.
yeah, we'll take him.
We get it now. He's got. No, what time we got?
It is 8:28.
No, I'm not talking. How long are we into the pot?
Oh,
Kyle, you're
44
fired
minutes.
again.
44 minutes.
44?
Yeah. He said what time?
I mean, we could go another 20 minutes, but we could also stop. Are you guys up for more questions and banter, or do you need another drink? Or
Yeah, we can pause and pick it back up.
You want to go get a cocktail?
Whatever
You know what?
do.
All right,
No, I'll
guys.
get one of my cronies to get you a cocktail.
Oh, haven't talked to my bartender.
Where's Sean and where's Sean? And,
No, I got tabs. Oh,
well, talk to it.
I got a tab running up
Okay,
there.
we don't
Nancy,
have that, so
go by.
I'll do a rum and coke.
Get your.
There's
get,
Nancy right over there.
Yeah,
Nancy,
look,
get over here.
I'm
He's getting his
talking
wife
into
to do
this
it right
like
now.
I'm talking to
Like,
my
oh, she's gonna
bartender.
remind her.
Never
We're
mind.
at the VFW right now, so beers are flowing everywhere.
Hi,
She's gotta
Megan.
go to Christmas.
Now here comes
Wife says
Megan.
I gotta go.
Megan is
we need to get her on for a little bit, 'cause she
military.
was a veteran.
She's
Come
with
here.
our
Come here, veteran.
Festus.
No, there isn't 1 second, ma'am. Step to it.
All right, you sit over here.
Me?
I'm out.
What?
Okay.
Oh,
So this guy right here, and leave his car here.
he's gonna leave his car here.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, good
All
for
right,
him.
honey.
That's called an Uber.
You'll be back tomorrow, right, babe? We'll see ya.
Hey, Mike.
Okay, honey.
See you, buddy.
Guys, all right.
All right.
Where you going?
I wish everyone could hear the conversation that's going on right now. Like, sometimes I wish these things weren't directional because you could hear the. Where are you going, Greg?
Get your happy ass over here, Gary.
Now I can't remember if it's Greg or Gary. Okay.
There's his beautiful bride right there.
Yeah, I met her earlier. I
She's
wanted to
awesome.
actually get her opinion on being married to a veteran.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I couldn't do this stuff all by myself. It takes a lot of women to run this place, I'm going to tell you.
Women run the
and
world.
I'm telling you, my Marines and folks are probably
guys-
going to be, I'm going to get her.
You guys understand you're the gatekeepers? No one can have sex without a woman saying yes.
That's true.
Otherwise, it's rape.
Yeah.
A guy will do anything. We'll fucking put our holes into a wall and let someone suck it on the other side.
That's why you were a Marine.
No shit, huh?
No, I heard you like the grape crayons, though.
I do. They're my favorite. So go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about you. We got a latecomer, a late bloomer.
Yeah. Post 377.
She's the bartender here, so she couldn't get away, but we're going to get her for a
Yeah,
minute. She was
we
a veteran
stole
as well.
her from
Another one of those
Vestas.
unicorn, infamous veteran women.
Yeah.
My name is Megan Mobley. I was in the 82nd Cav, 86th Cav unit. I was one of 4 females that did convoys in Iraq. I worked in the motor pool. I did all kinds of supply
What
for
years?
bands. 05 to 08.
Okay.
Fun years.
Yeah.
What months in 08?
I came in there around November, and then I left
Oh,
around
November
August,
of 08?
yeah.
That's when I left, so that's what I was kind of getting at. Where were you
Yeah.
at?
In Camp Taji.
Camp
Iraq.
Taji? Okay, I was up
Right in the red zone.
I was in Rawa, so I went to Al-Assad.
Yeah. So basically, my mission was to like do supply runs, do convoys.
She's even standing at parade rest. I kind of like it. For those of you who don't know, parade rest is with your hands behind your back, but she's got one hand behind her back and one hand
Holding
holding
the
on to
mic with the
Hold
other.
microphone.
I'm not an officer. You can be at ease. I'm not Bob.
Not Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I served for 4 years, and then came back home. I went to paramedic school and wanted to be actually wanted to be a pharmacist, and then went to paramedic school. And then I became a contractor, and now I bartend. So,
Well, that's great.
She's
And
well
since-
and also now I'm a junior vice over in Festus.
Yeah.
I'm third command of the whole post. I'm the only female that's ever been in charge of any officer position there.
Oh, that. See,
know, that
women are
really
advancing
does-
in this country, and they say they don't have extra rights.
See, look, though, if you look at that 1% of the 1% out of all the troops,
I'm sorry.
In
If
the country?
I praise you women because if I was a woman, I'd be a webcam whore.
oh, no, I'm just, oh, no.
Oh no!
I would.
I'm a little modest for that, but.
Yeah.
No, that's
little
why I
too
praise
old,
you. It's
let's
so
say
easy to
that.
make money being a
Wow,
woman.
that was almost a
you
perfect
guys
shot
actually-
onto the other pool table. Sorry.
Well, that came out of
That
nowhere.
missed you.
That came out of
Thank
left
goodness.
field.
I'm sorry.
I almost got hit by a cue ball.
You almost did. I was going to jump over you.
Son of a
for
Todd,
it.
bitch.
Todd, that
Look,
wasn't
see,
even
that's
close.
how us veterans
man.
roll.
Hey,
I
if you
think
shot
you're
like
gonna take it
that,
out.
no
Everything else
wonder.
I know.
If I shot like that, I wouldn't be alive.
Yeah, I was
All
gonna
I can say
man,
it was an honor
like-
to shake this guy's hand. I mean, like
So-
having all this stuff that happened to him
Yeah.
is just an inspiration.
This is the main question that I've run through everybody tonight is, and since you missed it, how do you feel about being a veteran? What does being a veteran mean to you?
It's very proud. It's comforting to know that I help people with protect the rights that they sometimes do not appreciate. With everything you see in this country, how things are becoming to where we want to shake our heads, but we know it's going to come back to the right thing where we fought for.
We
It's
hope.
We hope. There's 18 million of us hoping it.
And my brothers and sisters, they fought before me, and I fought after them.
Well,
and
there's one thing I always say, and it's don't piss off the fucking 13 million people that you trained to go to war,
yeah.
because guess what? We will come bite your fucking ass, Congress, real fast.
And they trained us.
Yeah, they trained us. So you
They did.
don't piss off the people. You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
you don't.
You know, piss us off. Guess what? There's going to be another revolution, and I guarantee it.
I think that's why we need people in leadership positions in D.C. that have had military experience. I've said that since I was 18 years old.
I wouldn't say
No.
that because not all of us are capable of not being grind balls.
Well, true. But I still think you got to have some sort of background other than
In
just
leadership.
a brief exposure to the troops going
Yeah.
out there, for a parade or something. You got to know what they're doing out there on that ground. Even though you got your 4- and 5-star generals responsible for that, You're the commander in chief.
And
So-
I'm going to get a little political with the military real quick. I believe that in order to be an officer, you should have to do an enlistment as an enlisted.
3 years, I agree.
At least.
Yeah.
Because then you see what really goes on.
The groundwork.
I'm sorry, guys.
What?
I have to go, but it
Oh,
was
the
very nice
bartender's
to meet
leaving.
you guys. Yeah.
She's going to bring us
You
our
gotta
drinks,
go
though.
bartend. Thank you.
But I believe that the officers... Where is...
Hey, Gary.
Get over here, Gary.
AKA Greg
Yeah, you're
King,
coming my ass.
buddy.
You're over there sitting at the corner of the bar like Norm.
Everybody does know his name.
Right. Everybody
Norm.
know, except for me. I call him
Look,
Gary.
Look, call him Norm. See
Hey,
if he
Norm.
looks. He looked.
Yeah, get your ass over here. We ain't done yet. Actually, I'm
Oh
going
my
to call this
gosh.
out real fast. Is there any other veterans in here? You want to come,
Come
on
on
my
over.
podcast? It's about Veterans Day.
Yeah, come on.
Huh? Well, the 8-ball's about to go in. Yeah, after the pool game. All right.
Okay.
We got another contestant on The Price is Right.
Right. Good.
Here comes creeping Gary.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, he's making it. It's those knees that he needs replaced.
That's what I got popped 5 days from going home. I told you that.
What? Your wife's making chicken pot
He
pies?
snaps,
Oh, yeah,
crackles,
she
and
made some
pops.
Oh, it's like a Rice Krispie treat.
Oh, that was for me. Thank
From
you.
what? Sitting in your barracks room?
No. Actually, walking across the compound.
Look, I
what?
can't say
The
too
chow
much.
hall?
I walk across something and break a toe anymore, you know?
No, actually, we were coming out of the. Actually, we do fight in the jungle because they had to spray that shit. So, yes.
Yeah, we got a
Here he
mic
goes.
for you.
We got a mic. Here he goes.
Yeah, you can come sit up on stage.
What?
All right, so we got another guy.
Jimmy
Jimmy
Lorenzo.
We're at the VFW.
Jimmy.
Oh,
right,
Jimmy's
we got-
here.
Oh,
This
Hold
one
on.
might run over, man.
you may or may not.
got- we
Keep
got-
in mind,
we got
Well,
you
we
may or
got
may
another
not.
vet to run all these
Right.
questions down through, and we got a panel to listen.
Sometimes
here we go.
he
We got a new
can,
man here.
sometimes he can't.
So tell us about what you did,
What's your
who
name
you
and
served
all that?
with, what your name is, what.
So, Wesley Smith,
Right.
United States Army. I retired in 2020.
Fuck, another Army guy.
I broke my neck and my back. I was SOTAC, Special Operations Terminal Attack Controller.
Okay.
I was with 10th Group, the 173rd, 1st, 82nd, and then 10th Group in Nangarhar Province, Afghanistan. I served in 44 different countries around the world,
Wow, that's amazing.
including Ukraine before everyone talked about the war
So
in Ukraine.
what years were you in?
So I was in from 2012 to 2020.
2020?
Then a parachute accident cut my time short, and then I medically retired
That's
out.
because Kyle packed your parachute.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle
there it
was
is.
with the Air Force and he packed parachutes. You missed
Oh,
that whole
okay.
conversation.
I missed that whole portion.
Yeah, you missed a lot of it. But I'm here to get what, because Veterans Day just happened.
Yep.
So I'm doing my podcast to entertain the people on what it actually means to be a veteran and what it means to us. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm kind of going through, you know, the banter and everything. And so what does being a veteran mean to you? What made you join? What drives you?
I joined because first I had nothing else to do when I got out of high school. Actually, I joined when I was 17 years old. And I wanted to join because my grandfather, he fought in World War II.
So did she, and she got
was-
fake boobs.
Well, I wasn't in World War II. My dad
No, but
was.
you joined when you were 17.
Yes, I did.
But he was on the USS Ashtabula, and he was in the Navy. Now, my parents, they're both doctors, and they were like, oh, we need a doctor in the family. And my mom was like, when you go in the military, like, go in for medical reasons. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to go in for medical. I was like, I want to be cool, right? So I went in as a 13 Fox, Joint Fires Observer. And then after that, went to SOTAC-C out of Yuma, Arizona. And then, SOTAC-CC out of Yuma.
So explain what SOTEC-C is to the people that don't understand.
So basically, it's equivalent to what an air traffic controller would do, or a JTAC, or a
Okay, so
TAC
it's a
P would
forward
do.
observer.
Basically, yeah. But instead of just artillery, you're also calling in airstrikes as well.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, for instance, like the majority of my job was on a phone, right? But I was front lines, like I was
You were
with the
deep.
infantry. We were with an SF team, and my job was to have a phone, and my job was to call in the airstrikes for the SF team.
Right.
So, like,
Us
now I went
infantry
to
men are pretty stupid.
yeah, they're not that very
We
smart.
don't remember
but
our nine
to bring-
lines.
to
I'll tell you
yeah,
that
no
right
one
now.
does. No one does.
To bring in the shells a little closer or farther back because you're
Well,
getting
not just
too close.
shells. You're talking airstrikes.
Airstrikes, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Calling
exactly.
that in,
So
you
he's
gotta be
talking,
spot
ladies
on.
and gentlemen, he's talking to the pilot on the ground to coordinate a bomb being dropped.
Yeah.
That skill is
Precise.
unheard of. It's very, very hard. You might think it's easy, but you're talking about a jet going
millimeters.
speed, and you're trying to give him an observation from the air of what you're looking at and what you're seeing.
Exactly. And so we'd use what's called a rover feed, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of rover feeds, but being in the Air Force, so basically the pilot would have a rover, which is what their slur is, right? Their forward-looking infrared system. And we would connect to that. So anything white hot or black hot, I could see on the ground. So whatever he was seeing in the sky, I could see what he was looking at. And he can zoom in like 100 times zoom. So if he's going 600 miles an hour, from 30,000 feet, which is what most aircraft that we were talking to, F-16s, FA-18s, and stuff like that, what they're going through, we can see everything that they're seeing. And it's crazy because they can steady a camera on an observation point while wheeling from 5 miles away. So you can see almost exactly. You can see what the people are carrying, if they're eating, what they're doing.
That's why we wear IR patches.
Exactly. So they can see friendlies. But that was basically my job in the Army. I did that over in Afghanistan. I did that in numerous countries around the world. So
the Vietnam guy over here is looking at you like, what kind of fucking
that's a little bit
technology
more
are you
high
talking
tech
about right now?
than I
had a mule.
Yeah, it was literally a camera. It was an iPhone. Actually, it was a Samsung Galaxy S10. Which had the ATAC system on it, and you can switch to rover feed, and it was on your chest, so I could look down right here and see exactly what the pilot was seeing.
Nice.
Damn. Yeah. All right, we got a new guy up here.
We got another one.
This is
Come here, you CB.
past
My
post
favorite
commander.
Marine mattress, a Navy guy.
Past post commander Jim Lorenz, another
Jim
Purple
Lorenz,
Heart
come on up, bud. You're the next
recipient here at our
contestant on
post.
When Does the Fuckery End?
That's it. He knows the drill. Here you go, Jimmy.
Oh, hey, watch out.
Careful,
That's my
we
leg.
don't need any.
No, I'm kidding. He almost tripped and fell down. I think he drank too much. And he's drinking shitty beer, so. All right, Jim.
How you doing, Todd?
I'm all right, sir. How are you?
Doing great.
So, we've already run it down to everybody that's on the podcast and talked about it, but what does it mean to be a veteran to you? When did you serve? What did you do? I've already said you're a CB, but I know what you did, but they don't.
I got a surprise for you.
A fart?
No. I was Army infantry first.
Then what the fuck are you wearing a CB hat for?
Because I went and joined the Seabees afterwards.
So you're a dual sport.
Life was better.
I like to ride you even more.
He's a double banger, as we would say in Show Me the
Yeah.
You weren't an officer, were you?
No.
We only had one here, and I'm surprised he made it
run
through
his ass
Vietnam. Holy shit, I can see the shine off your head. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, sir.
I got to shine someplace else, too.
Oh, yeah? See, that's what I'm talking about. Us veterans, we just get along.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a veteran that I've actually met that I hate, except for when they're negative towards other veterans.
It's true.
They're like, oh, I fucking hate being in the Marine Corps. I love what I did. And I'm sure all of you guys did as well. Do I like being out now? Yeah. I don't have to deal with the fucking being told what to do all the fucking time, and like I listened anyway.
You can sleep in.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get to sleep in.
Yeah. Tell me about
Half
it.
the time I didn't. I'd be up at 3 o'clock drinking and be like, well, fuck it. I got fucking formation in 2 hours. I might as well just keep drinking.
Yeah, we're in Vietnam. You smoke 3 packs of cigarette days and quart of booze.
I tell people that's what the Army does. They breed alcoholism in all military branches. Like if you go to any base and you go into the gas station or anything at the base, 80% of the sales are alcohol, and they have tons of alcohol.
Too.
And not only on that, they have vending machines inside the barracks in the Army where I was. They have vending machines for Pedialyte.
Really?
Yeah, so you can go and buy Pedialyte. 80% of the shelves
For rehydrating.
and the PX, because it's a post exchange. At the PX, you have 80% of the shelves are alcohol, and then you have Pedialyte in your own barracks, so you can literally just go and get Pedialyte when you need.
So we got Jim on here, and I'm going to go ahead.
Gary. Okay, Todd.
Actually, it's Greg, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, we had vending machines, but you put a dime in it, popped out Coors Light.
Oh, yeah, I doubt that. You know what you had vending machines for in the Air Force? It was to get that chair to vibrate again.
Yeah.
In the fucking chair force.
No,
That's what that was.
I mean, they did have cigarettes back in the day too.
Oh, yeah, they had
in their
Lucky
MREs,
Strikes
they
and-
had cigarettes. Nowadays, you can't even have that.
I
so.
heard some Vietnam vet was telling me that they actually dropped a resupply of cigarettes into the fucking field for these guys. We had to have them mailed by our own spouses. Unless you bought Afghani cigarettes from the
That
market.
guy over there is a Marine veteran. The guy in the red shirt.
Well, bring him over here.
Ashton, come on over.
But first we're gonna get to this
Jim.
guy.
Yeah, get to Gary first.
Not Gary.
Jim.
That's
I'm
Greg.
Gary.
We got to get to
I'm
Jim.
Greg.
So Jim, tell us what you did and what it means to be a veteran for you.
It's just great. It's great to be a veteran. And I'm damn proud of it. Put 30 years in, and I'm damn proud of it.
Yeah.
In a way, I didn't even want to get out, but I hit higher tenure, and I had to go.
You just kept going, huh?
Yep. So anyway, I started off in the Army.
I'm sorry.
I volunteered for the draft in '67, and because I found out college wasn't for me, I wasn't cut out to be a college puke. So
most of us weren't, unless you were an officer.
Yeah. And so anyway, I went basic at Leonard Wood, went AIT, FT training down at Fort Polk, Louisiana, a.k.a. Fort Puke, asshole of the world. And then I shipped to Vietnam on 10 January 68 and ended up with the 4th Infantry Division during the Tet Offensive in 68. And
Tet Offensive, really?
Yeah.
Man.
That's been a few years ago.
That's a big one.
Before you ever thought of.
Yeah. The best part of me ran down my mom's leg, sir.
Yeah. And anyway, it was tough. We lost a lot of guys. I think I had like around 15 just out of my own platoon that I was with. Got KIA over there, and I don't know, probably at least that many or twice as many wounded and everything. I lucked out. I only got hit once, so...
I'm going to hold that thought. Anyone who's listening, the Tet Offensive, look it up on Google. That was the first actual suburban combat. House, city to city, door to door.
Yeah, it was.
And it's just amazing to think about. It gives me goosebumps right now. I mean, you can see them. Just thinking about it. That was the first actual house-to-house fighting that anyone has ever endured.
Yeah, they hit all big major cities. I know I was in Khartoum when they hit up there, and we hit street fighting, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah, I can't imagine, sir.
And then what's worse is at least, either there or even out in the bush, you never knew where Charlie was.
Right.
I mean,
Charlie's not your dog, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie is the Vietnamese.
VC.
And that's right. FCC, suck my dick. I'll say what I want.
Or in my case, it was all North Vietnamese. We fought strictly North Vietnamese. That never did deal with the VC because they were mostly down in the Mekong Delta, down south. And I was up in the Central Highlands, and I mean highlands. It was up and down hills.
Now, that wasn't smoking pot, was it?
No, I didn't do that shit.
I'm just kidding. Hey, microphone. Come on, Gary.
Wasn't there something else over there other than pot?
We had opium.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you didn't ask him about that.
We were walking around opium
Jimmy.
fields.
I'm kidding.
Now, we're in a safe zone. I call this the potato tree, you know? It's a safe zone. You can say whatever the fuck you want because no one gives a fuck.
Would not do any weed or
any
opium,
weed.
Anything.
That came from an old man,
that
younger
shit
generation.
was laced
I would
with
not do
opium,
any
and
weed.
you would not do anything like that because you were a married man and all your shit comes back on your medical records. Someday you're going to go back, your wife's going to see your medical record, you got caught with weed or you got VD. That's not a good thing
VD.
to tell your wife.
Venereal disease. You know what I say? Yeah. I say that zero is and Kyle, I've already said this before, zero is only good when we're talking about STDs because you don't want one.
No.
That's the only time zero is the only number you want. If we're talking about dollars, you want one. You don't want zero.
Yeah, and those, even back in I don't even know what the statistics are now today, but 60s, 70s, 80s, man.
Oh, yeah, you guys were whores.
My gosh. Speak for yourself.
I
did.
You
weren't alive then.
I just spoke for myself.
Okay, well, yours is more recent.
Yeah, we got to go back to Jim.
I knew a guy had 3 types of VD at one time.
Holy shit. I didn't even know there was 3 types.
No. I knew a guy that did.
He knew a guy.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Everybody knows a guy.
No, that had to be a hard day
But it
for
was-
him. That
it
penicillin
was
in the
amazing.
buttocks.
Penicillin.
Penicillin, that's right.
It was amazing, though. You'd be out in the middle of no place, and all of a sudden you hear this little Honda 90 coming wheeling through the jungle, ying, 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 and here he's peeling, he's come wheeling in and got 3 whores on the back of that thing.
He was a fucking pimp. All right, Jimmy, we got another one who just showed up. You mind if we
All
jump
right.
over to him?
Oh,
no, you stay here because we're going to
Stay.
finish this.
Round
right.
table.
I mean, this episode's going to go quite a bit, I have a feeling.
And if
We
you
can
look
always
at,
chop it into part 2, too, Kyle.
if you look at the ages here go straight from young.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been my kid from the looks of his face.
He's
How old
a
are you,
young
like
one.
18?
19.
Oh my
19?
goodness.
Yeah, you could have been my kid.
19. Oh my, he could. Yeah, he
I'm
could be
38.
mine.
I could have had my kid at 19 years old.
But
You
you
could have been
could've
my
been
son.
my
You could have
kid,
been my
too.
son.
He's old enough to be my
So,
grandson.
what's your name? Where'd you serve? And how do you feel about being a veteran?
My name is Ashton Hammers, and
Ashton Hammers. That sounds like a porn star name.
I was
now that you mention it.
Yeah, right?
yeah, I was a Marine, and I was,
Hoorah, the first Marine that we've had up here. Hoorah. I've been surrounded by army cats all night long.
That's
Really?
right.
You know what?
needed
It's just
us.
like Korea. They
You
surrounded
needed
us, but they left. And then we had to fight our way out.
so I was only in for a year and a half, unfortunately, but that was because after training, I got injured during sparring.
Mm-hmm.
So I dislocated my shoulder, and that tore the ligaments and labrum all the way around.
So medically discharged.
man.
yeah, I was in the infantry, so they discharged me because I was medically unfit.
Well, that's
So-
unfortunate. But you still raised your hand
Absolutely.
to be part of a fighting force that wants to see the world be a greater place.
He's exactly what we were talking about earlier
Right.
when we were talking about our veterans and
Right.
who we welcome in. What is a veteran to us? It's not just you
someone who's been through a
or
foreign war,
Jimmy
or someone
or
that's-
Kyle. It's young men like this
Right.
that are just going in and coming out now.
I mean, he had an unfortunate event, and it happens to a lot of guys.
right?
And then a lot of those guys feel I'm not speaking for you. I'm just speaking from what I think. But I feel like a lot of those guys feel like, well, I didn't do nothing. Bullshit. You signed on the dotted line to give your life up for this country. You might have only did a year and a half, but you still did it. How many other people are doing that right now?
I wonder how often you actually hear that. Well, I didn't do anything. I've
All
heard
the time.
that. I
they
can't
look at me and they're
tell
like,
you.
I didn't do nothing. I say, well, I didn't do anything either.
I'm like, you shine those boots. You sign that paperwork
Right.
to put your life on the line.
You made it through
You
boot
are
camp.
somebody.
If you didn't make it through boot camp, you can suck on my nuts. If you cried, I'm gay, get out of here. If that guy you kicked out because you were gay, now they take gays in the Army and the Marine Corps. I don't care as long as you can shoot a gun straight.
If you
but
can
a lot
shoot
of
and
kids
take
use
care of
that
your
as an
buddy.
excuse to get out. When I was in, they would be like, "I'm gay," and they'd be like, "All right, well, you're out." Well, you know what? Don't ask, don't tell was Bill Clinton's policy, but that got you out if you told.
I knew people probably through my whole career that were the don't ask, don't tell folks. And I knew. You kind of knew you knew without ever confirming anything because you don't have to because
gay
that's
people
your
have
buddy.
gaydar.
That
Straight
is your
people
buddy.
have, I know you're gay.
Yeah. Well, what my point is that it never bothered me, and to everybody that I was stationed with those people, I won't say men or women.
You can be as much as you want.
We loved them just as human beings, not be.
Right.
We did not treat them any less.
Right.
By any means.
Unless he tried to grab my dick, then I was like, dude, get the fuck off. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying if that would have. Yeah, probably.
He may be alluding to something here that we don't know about, folks. Would you like to expand on that?
Maybe I shoved it down in my self-conscious and I don't want to talk about it.
Well, as long as it was in your self-conscious.
Arla. You know how I remembered your name?
You did.
I thought of Arlington, Texas.
Ooh.
Arla.
Arla. My great uncle, I'm named after him, he helped build the San Francisco trolleys.
That's where I got eaten by a bear.
That's where my grandmother. You got eaten by a bear there?
In San Francisco.
Oh my God, they're all
That's
over
how
the
I lost my
place.
limbs.
All of them.
All fucking of them.
All of them.
I mean, fuck them bears.
Hey, it wasn't VD, was it?
No, it was The Chicago Bears football team.
Okay.
Fuck Chicago. No, I'm sorry, Chicago.
Chicago, you all right?
You all right? Because I can take a train there and get wasted on the way there. I like Chicago.
You've been to the
All right,
Bean?
Jimmy, we're coming back to you there, sir.
Oh, okay.
It says CBs can do. What can the CBs do?
Well, first thing we do is we go clean the beach and
What are you,
set up
fucking part of the
lemonade.
litter
We set
control?
up lemonade stands so the Marines can come in.
Well, you might as well because we're thirsty when we get there.
Yeah, but we just give you lemonade Kool-Aid. We got the beer in the rear.
Well, see, you aren't ready to be a Marine yet, and you're part of the women's department of the Navy.
Yeah.
So when are you going to become a man, Jim?
Marines always ride in Navy equipment.
That's because we have to. We don't choose to.
That's right.
So what is your
You
point
guys
here,
are-
Jim?
You guys are part of the Navy.
That's because you won't let us go because we make you too much money.
Yeah. Well, the only reason
No one buys a Navy T-shirt for fun. Everyone loves a Marine.
you know why they put Marines on the ships, don't you?
To fuck you in the butt to make you happy, so you get shit done.
So you got somebody to dance with.
No, exactly.
Damn.
You just made fun of yourself.
Hey, I wasn't on a ship.
Hey, Jim. You know why them Navy guys have them 13 buttons across?
Oh, yeah.
That's the bib for the
Larry,
Marines.
where you
The
at?
shock absorber.
Yeah.
You know why the officers had to wear a fucking stitching on the top of their hat is so we wouldn't shoot the motherfuckers in the head during firefights.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get back to this.
Hey, Opa May Johnson
I
was a barracks whore, all right? So
Hey, I was out of the Army a couple of years, and I was working construction.
this is when you were part of Aren't Ready to Be a Marine Yet, right?
Say again?
This is when you were part of Not Ready to Be a Marine Yet, right?
Well, if that's what you think.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I like this Jim guy already.
I joined the Navy Seabees and the reserves because I was working construction, and we'd get rained out. We didn't get paid, and our big thing then was you get rained out, you go hit the local bar and have a few beers, and had some guys there that talked me into joining the bees, and so I did. And I got in as a first class. They had what they call an APG program, advanced pay grade, and I was working in my rate that I went into in the Seabees, which was a builder. So I hung around. I was enlisted, I think, for 3 years, some shit, and I kind of liked it, and took the chief's test, and passed the chief's test every time I took it, and I got first 2 times was passed but not advanced. So I was in like 6 years, and I made chief. And another 6 years I made senior chief. Another 6 years I made master chief.
Hey, you know, Jimmy, in your day, wasn't it kind of the same way with promotion that the higher ranking you got, the harder it was because it was face per space, so there's less spaces.
Yeah, they had to stop building Legos.
No, there was only so many billets, and
Okay.
and the older guys, they'd hang in until they had to go.
No, I give it to the Seabees because when I was in Iraq, you know what I lived in? A storage fucking container. Guess who built the bunk beds in it? The Seabees.
The CBs. Yeah,
course.
Stephanie Dolan, too. She did that.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking union. You can't do nothing by yourself. You got to call the Seabees in to build the fucking bunk beds. I could have taken some 2x4s and slapped them against the wall. No, I'm kidding, Jim.
So anyway, I hung around, and after I'd made senior chief, the Gulf War came up, Desert Storm, and Desert Shield, and
So I hear you're part of history. Is this where we're going?
yeah. So I got orders to go to California for a weekend for a conference, and we found out then that our unit was being shipped to the Gulf War, and so we left on 7 January 91.
I was still running around in diapers, maybe.
And I spent 6 months over there. After the war was over, we got attached to the CENTCOM over there, and we were putting up big sprung buildings, building buildings, and all kinds of other stuff, and ran the motor pool for the base over there. So anyway, and I hung around.
So Jim, tell me why that's a part of history. Why were you a part of history by going over there into
Well, I went from
the Gulf
one
War?
extreme to the other.
Well,
you know.
You told me this just a little bit ago, and I think he's not hitting on it.
What's that?
Him being a part of history from being in the Gulf War with
He's
the
had
dual units working together.
Yeah,
or?
between his services, between just the various conflict wars that he's actually stepped ground into and had been a part of. That you look. Thankfully, most Americans
Arla talks
today
with her hands.
should never.
I don't have hands, and I still talk with my hands.
You want to use mine?
If you want. We could do an arm transplant.
No,
and then
I think
could jerk
need
off
this
with
one.
Arla's hand.
Oh my God! No, I don't
Just
even know
saying.
what I was saying.
She done lost her train of thought.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have a question,
Yeah.
and no one can hear him saying, but someone just asked Jim if he was in Vietnam.
You were in service through all these Panama, the Gulf War, the Panama War, and
Grab the mic.
And Vietnam, yeah.
If you want
Four
the mic, if you want to
different
talk, you
conflicts.
got to grab the mic.
So you were in Vietnam, then you were in the Cold War back in the 80s.
All you got to do is ask
and
the
then
question, bro.
Panama Canal,
hit, yep.
and then the Gulf War in the 90s.
Yep.
And then you got out right before Afghanistan in 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I
impressive.
retired in 2000.
So you retired a year before. That's impressive.
Well, like I said, a lot of
You
people
don't meet a lot
even
of
know
people
about
who's-
some of these things, like
That's a
Panama
lot
and
of
the Gulf
years.
War. They know about Vietnam and Korea.
Panama was
the big
more of a
wars,
fight, in
but-
my opinion. Panama was more of a fight than the Gulf War.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
really was.
a lot
It
of people
was,
don't
you
know
know?
about these though.
And the Gulf War was all because of oil, because of George Sr. So I mean,
We're not getting into politics.
We're not
tonight.
getting into politics tonight, but
Not tonight.
No.
That'll be another episode when I want to piss everybody off after the election.
Yeah, you talk religion and politics, I'm going.
If I
No,
talk,
we're not- I'm just
listen,
saying, but-
the day I talk religion is the day I'm probably in my casket.
But in my opinion, though, the Gulf War was not as severe as the Panama Canal War.
see, a
Because
lot
it was
of
more
people-
important, especially to trade with the United States via the old. It's going to go to politics, but I'm not trying to. It's because the old trade arrangement that we had with Mexico.
It's not that you're not trying to; you just did.
Well, I'm a
And that's what it
politician,
had
so that's
to
what
do.
politicians do.
Oh, you're a fucking politician? Jesus Christ! If I'd have known that, I would have fucking give you a swirly.
Come on.
Jesus, what are you, fucking red or blue? Because I'm a realist. I don't believe in Democrat or Republican.
Me neither.
Well, good. Run for governor. I'll vote for you.
That's the plan, but I can't announce that right now. but
I'll be your fucking assistant governor.
we got a very strong backing for our 2026 run for governor.
I'll be your HR department. Yeah, we'll be your HR department.
I talked to you when I ran for Congress last year.
Oh, Jesus, we got a fucking politician on the podcast. So anyway, you came back over because you mentioned me say something about a revolution.
About the second revolution.
Right.
And it's going to happen, but I heard you say that originally, which is why when you asked if there's any other veterans and I raised my hand, I was like, I want to talk about this because it's
Not if you
very
take it to a
significant
politics
because
version.
people don't realize it's a real idea.
It's already
And
happening.
It is happening. But what are we waiting for?
The
That's
right
what
person to stand up and say, let's make this fucking
We're
happen?
We're not. The problem is with the American populace, people live on the fact that of survive and not thrive.
Bullshit. If I
this-
were to get a bunch of guys together and start this bullshit, I guarantee it would start rolling.
well, you should join the Telegram with us veterans.
Fuck that Telegram.
There's
underground
2,000
Telegram?
veterans on there,
2,000
including
of them?
people like me.
Then someone stand the fuck up and say, let's do this, because I would do
I
it
did.
if I could.
I did, but I'm one person.
I would fucking...
What are we waiting on? Are we waiting for the federal government to tell us?
That's I think that's the issue when anything is, if you don't have the right
after this, let me know about
population
this.
backing you. Yeah, because I don't even, I need to
never
be
even
real
heard about
careful
this.
with what I say.
We got to talk.
No, don't
we
be
gotta-
careful.
Because, it's nothing that...
No one listens to this
I'm
shit.
involved
So-
in, but
so-
you got to have a large population following you if you're going to try and do something.
No, it starts with one.
It
So
does start
you gotta
with
you gotta
one.
come join my podcast. It's called the Wolfpack Podcast. To get about 10,000 listeners per
Yep.
week.
Oh,
But
fuck. Well, maybe I can get your listeners to
we
listen
need
to
to
my
get.
shit.
I need to get you on there because we can talk about this
I'll do it.
second revolution thing because I talk about it all the time.
I've talked
talk
about it
how
for like 10 years now.
and this isn't. I'm not bringing politics, but I'm going to mention it. I talk about how me personally, I supported Donald Trump, but I don't. I'm
Great,
not saying
now
I
my
don't.
phone's gonna start acting
no,
crazy
time
again.
out. Because I'm not going to bring politics into it. But then I talk about how is that the way of the Republican Party, or what is the United States, or whatever Americans? What are we waiting for? Because when I ran for Congress, I talked about it. I said, what is the American people waiting for to take this country back for what we fought for?
Okay,
we're veterans. We fought our heart out. We lost our friends, blood, sweat, and tears.
And that's why
limbs.
I say you don't train over 13 million people to fight for a war and then turn around and fuck them in the ass without lubrication.
But I talk about, even on the campaign, I only ran for VA rights.
Yeah, without repercussion. That's what I'm talking about. The lubrication.
When I ran for Congress, they told me, bring us $1 million and we'll support your run.
Fuck you, I'm a realist. I don't need your Republican
That's what
ideas.
I said. I told them, I said, fuck you. They're like, well, why are you running for federal office instead of something petty, quote,
like
Republican?
There goes Jim. We're talking about politics.
No,
Jim,
no,
come
it's
back.
not. They said, why don't you run for something petty like Board of Education? I said, petty?
All right, the Vietnam guys are gone. Talking politics.
Yeah,
See ya.
it's got to go.
I'll leave, guys. I'll leave. You guys don't leave. But
no, I think we're getting to that point to where we're running down anyway. What time we got? Where are we at, Kyle?
Here you go.
Hour 20? All right, yeah.
We're everyone off. I scared everyone
No. We're going to call it because that's an hour and 20 minutes. That's a long
that is
episode.
a long time.
I don't like to make my episodes longer than an hour and 15 minutes because then you start to lose people's concentration.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. They're
And
involved
so
in it.
I'll come to your podcast if you'd like. Then we can talk
definitely.
politics
you
all
can
the
talk
time.
all the time. You can talk whatever you want.
It's I'm kind of happy that everyone
We'll host
kinda
it
left,
right
'cause we
here
could
if you
sat
want.
here for another 2 hours.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But I don't like to make my episodes run very long because then you start to lose people's concentration and they're like, why am I still listening to this? It's dragging on. But you get to the point, you make your podcast about what you want it to be about, and then they listen, they stay. So I'm going to do what I usually do, and I'm going to run down some of the organizations that I usually go through, and that's Semper Fi Fund, Warfighters Engaged, Tunnels to Towers, Gary Sinise Foundation, Joshua Chamberlain Society, Focus Marines Foundation, and these are all foundations that I stand behind because they all are over 90% in giving back to the actual veteran population. They don't spend your money on bullshit. It's not a fucking club. They don't make sure that your money goes in. They got to put it in their pocket, like save the PETA people. I don't fucking know. But you put $1 in and they only give back 19 cents? No. You put $1 in, they give out 90 cents. So that's the way that these foundations work that I always praise. So out there again, have a good night. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Arla would like to say something. Put in a plug for whatever the fuck you want.
Okay. So I am in a competition called Fab Over 40.
Do you show your breasticles?
No, but I don't know if any of the others do. I don't. But
I'm just saying because they're fake. I just want to know.
hey,
No,
look,
put the plug in. Go.
They're good. Anyways, I am down into the top 5 at this point from many.
What's the link?
The link?
Yeah. How do we vote for Arla?
www.votefab40.com/2022/ARLA-TWEEDY.
I hope you all wrote that down.
Vote once every 24 hours. And the reason I want to bring it up is because my end goal, I want to build our Veterans Memorial here. You know, we've got Jimmy, we've got you, we've got
This is going to bring up a whole nother subject because I once did a fundraiser here to build a memorial for a wall somewhere around here that was supposed to be for OIF, OEF veterans and Vietnam veterans. They wanted to reduplicate it.
Was that down in Perryville, maybe? For Perryville?
No, because I think it was here. They might have been. I don't know, but I know they have one over in Illinois. Huh?
You guys should have talked to me. If you guys want something built or something,
what's her
that's all you
name?
got to do.
The blonde politician. Ann Wagner was here.
Ann, yeah.
Oh, no. I ran against Ann.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that may have been before me, but I know we do have the bricks and stuff out here that
Right.
we've had, but I don't know. The OIF, OEF was probably before me.
Trust me, we'll talk
off air.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was the only reason I brought it up is because I really want to help the city of Arnold build the Veterans Memorial here, and it's going to be a big one down at the rec center.
Yeah, I believe that every city should have some memorial for their veterans that live in the community.
Yeah, we're Purple Heart City. We need to celebrate
Most
that.
are nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah. And, we want to keep our veterans in the spotlight.
Yeah, I think I put Lake Ozark on the map when I moved down there. Now I'm out, so they should have to take their signs down.
Home of Todd Nicely.
Even if it's a walk though, like something is bricks that have people's names on them. I know in Florida, down there in Daytona Beach, they have.
Yeah, I live down in Brevard.
And I have friends that live down there, and so I think, including people that know like Ryan Pitts, and they have their own Veterans Memorial, even if it's a walk where people are stepping on the names, but us veterans who know those names, who recognize those names, especially OEF and OIF veterans, we need something like that here in Arnold. But I think, like you said, every city should have one because veterans come home and they don't have. We won't talk about it right now.
I know
you're trying to close out. You're trying to close out, but I'm not going to talk about it.
I'm going to close out. We're going to talk off stage here. But I think we've gotten the point across about what a veteran means, how close-knit we are. Kyle, you're fired. Yeah, but I do believe
this I'm not getting paid for this. I'm all right.
This is a longer episode than we usually run, and that's to make up for the last one that we did that kind of I wasn't there. I wasn't in the mood. I wasn't in the groove. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen.